Good morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The Silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in today, we welcome you in. After having cleaned up from the holiday, I noticed a very distinct pattern. Now, through no real intention, my family started using those recyclable Christmas bags to give to each other for the sole reason that regular wrapping paper is annoying to pick up. It gets everywhere and it's impossible to deal with. So it's really a case of convenience for us to use, bags and stuff. There were certain presents that had to be wrapped. Some bags are just not big enough. But since you eventually get to the point where you need to get rid of this stuff, my parents, for example, brought gifts over in boxes because you can put multiple bags in boxes. It makes perfect ergonomic sense why they would choose to do that. And they had need for those boxes in other places. So that's the recycle part of reduce, reuse, recycle. At the same token, my recycling bin is jammed to overflowing. And I said, how is it that we're committing ourselves to recycling? Not directly, we're not going out there as enviro Nazis and saying, hey, how dare you use a piece of scotch tape, but just trying to make the planet a little bit nicer. And we've been doing this for a few years now. But my recycling bin, I can't recall the last time it's been that full. So I went out and looked, and this is probably going to surprise no one, but it's the boxes that stuff come in. And they build up and they build up and they build up, and then you're stuck with the whole lot of them. This is a lead into the other point I'm making, so hold on to your hats. Now, I recognize, with 20 years in logistics, I recognize the most efficient way to get stuff from point A to point B is to put it in a box. And unfortunately, those boxes really aren't good for much besides the product that they're used for. So, yeah, you get something, it's already coming in a box. Most of these boxes cannot be recycled. A few can. So you're essentially consigning something to wind up back in the earth where hopefully it's recycled into new trees and perpetuates the cycle of life on our planet. But there was another piece of waste that really featured in my recycling and my garbage, and that was food wrapping. And as we were having a bit of a family feast, it really stood out. I'm not bragging here. Well, maybe it's a humble brag, but it's not intended as such. I made prime rib, ham, turkey, and lamb. Guess what all those come in? Well, almost all of them come in a plastic wrapper. And they usually have that styrofoam, I don't know what to call it. It's like a packaging base. You know what I mean. The styrofoam, the meat goes on the styrofoam, they wrap it on it, etc., etc. A lot of that. Now, my prime rib did come completely wrapped in cling film. And I honestly don't know whether that's better for the environment than the styrofoam or whether it's worse for the environment. I put it in the recycling because it seemed to fall under the category of plastic. But I know recycling places toss a lot of stuff in the garbage because there's really not much use for them. Apparently even cardboard, because trees are pretty plentiful and there's so much cardboard already in the system, it's cheaper not even to try to separate them and send them off to the recycling centers. It's cheaper just to bury them. So even something as simple as cardboard, where you think it would be used, it's not. I have no idea what they do with the plastic. But there's a heck of a lot of it. So what we need, as a human society in the 21st century that's trying to move towards a Type 1 civilization is a kind of packaging for food that would be organic and be something you could put in your own garden and recycle, or if you have a kitchen garden, it would be able to be recycled in there. Because just so much stuff comes in it. You buy some frozen peas or whatever it is. I pick on peas because, you know what, corn, let's frozen corn. Almost everybody has a bag of frozen corn in their fridge somewhere, if not in their freezer. And of course, that's more plastic. So, for all the people out there thinking about what you can do to reduce your environmental footprint, or just stuff that would make life easier, here's a real product that we could use. I know they always claim they can do miracles with hemp, and I know they can make a bag out of it, and there's probably a solution there, but from experience, people do want to see their food. I can tell you that having had to order food from an online purveyor, sometimes you don't really get what what you're looking for. Heck, my wife, who's no dummy, was at the store, grabbed a pack of Gala apples because they were on sale, got the sale price, brought them home, and they were red delicious apples. She could see through. She was just in a rush, saw they were on sale, thought of me. Wonderful, wonderful woman, wonderful thought. But that's why people want to be able to see what they're getting. And also online, I can understand the prime rib, for example, said it came between 1.3 and 1.5 kilograms in a lot. Well, I got a 1.1 kilogram bunch of prime beef. If I'd been in the store, I wouldn't have picked that for myself, but you lose that control when you're dealing with an online purveyor. Meat, you kind of want to look at that too. Mushrooms, you want to look at them, make sure that they're not growing their own mushrooms on top of it, especially not of any of the dangerous colors. You know, you get that the deep, vibrant orange, the green. No, you want your white or brown mushrooms and nothing special added on top. So I recognize there is a need for this see-through plastic, but I'm saying plastic is a fossil fuel. It's semi-recycled. I'm going to leave it at that because I hear all sorts of stories about how little things are recycled, and I see no reason why anybody would lie about it. There's no conspiracy theory like Alex Jones would have you believe. But that would be a revolutionary product. And like I said, I think going down the hemp side of things would probably be the best. Yes, I know some of the old grumpy people, oh, hemp, that's the cousin of marijuana. Yeah, they're kissing cousins. The same token, one has no cannabis in it, and the other has lots of cannabis in it. We come back to this time and time again. We have countless studies on the environmental impact. you can pretty much pick any one of them up and prove any point that you like. The world will be doomed in 5 years. The world's going to go on just fine. Well, actually, the world's going to be fine. The people are the ones who are going to be messed up. Life will continue without us. Life is really magnificent. And we can do our part by paying people at, is DuPont still a thing? The big laboratories in the world, let's just say that. There has to be ways to produce an alternative to plastic. Remember, plastic, as I've said this before, plastic is a petrochemical product. We're literally diverting oil to be made into plastic. Personally, okay, oil has to be separated into different things, and different kinds of oil make different things. For example, the Canadian oil has a lot more of that heavy crude in it that you use to make asphalt. The sweet crude that has more gasoline in it comes from more of the Arabian world, the petro-centered area of the world. But those plastic generating oil shales, I think that's the right way to say it, the plastic generating oil shales are things that we are going to need into the far future. If we develop an alternative now, we'll be a century ahead of our own development. It'll offer new opportunities for farmers, although probably they'll be controlled by companies. But once again, my idea is this would be a biodegradable product, something that's hopefully biodegradable in more than a couple weeks. But it offers so many benefits. First of all, if the biological plastic, as I'm going to call it, if it's decayed, you know the food in it is no good. And this might be one of the problems. I mean, you pick up your box of Kellogg's Pop-Tarts. What do you get? Well, no, Pop-Tarts are a bad idea. Corn Puffs. Kellogg's, any breakfast cereal. You have a box with a bag inside of it. Is there any reason that bag's not recyclable? And why do we have the box on the outside anyways? Yes, it's got to help the frosted flakes keep their shape. But the same token, we're packaging a package. It's waste, and there's got to be a better process. So if you want to put studies, why don't we put studies into this? Why don't we put research money into this? You really want to eliminate waste? You want to eliminate people throwing things off the side of the road? This would even help with coffee cups. And I can tell you, as somebody who loves to walk, the amount of coffee cups, and I'm not blaming any particular restaurant here. They're all, I'm going to say they're innocent in this one because none of them tells you when you're done with this, throw it on the side of the road. They offer trash cans outside their establishment, which generate zero money for them. It's a loss leader, but they still do it because they don't want to be associated with trash at the side of the road. But a biological plastic cup, even though people prefer the mouthfeel of cardboard, would be immensely more environmentally handy and healthy than what we're doing right now. Don't believe me? Take a walk. Doesn't need to be a long one. Trust me. You probably won't make it a kilometer, a mile, whatever you decide to do your walk. And you're going to see this crap everywhere. So there is this definite need in the economy, in the ecology. Something to help us get rid of all this waste that we're putting out. And municipalities have it set up with their green bins. This could be added to a green bin, and they know to recycle it into dirt. Or whatever else they decide to recycle it into. We need this product. So if you're out there and you have some sort of degree in chemistry, biology, whatever is necessary to make this happen, please start making it happen. It doesn't make me feel good to look at my recycling bin and realize I didn't buy the recycling bag, so I can't put as much out as I wanted to. If I could throw it in my garden, you bet your butt I would absolutely do that. And that's the way people used to do things. Oh, we've boiled this ham bone for ham soup. Now what do we do with it? You throw it in the fields. And the animals come and they do their magic. They eat it and they poop it out and they fertilize your fields. We don't have this mentality these days. We eat the ham bone and we may throw it in the organic recycling. But it's a fantastic resource for your garden if you're lucky enough to have one. I don't know what it's like operating a kitchen garden. I only know it's possible. This is the first year we've managed to keep one going. So I'm not used to putting fertilizer in it. But right now, the way most people do gardens is they buy their fertilizer. When we're throwing out so much fertilizer, it's disturbing. If we could only add to that and encourage people to throw more stuff into their gardens, Well, burying it a little bit because we don't want this crap falling all over the place because it winds up on my front lawn. Because I live in a key, and what the key's problem is, all the garbage goes to the point of the key. So, yeah, I I don't want coffee cups. I don't want hamburger stuff. I don't want any of that stuff. But I want some sort of product that's going to break down in a reasonable amount of time. Say 6 months. I don't think most food products need more than 6 months. I'm not sure about an Apple iPhone. Maybe there is room for both regular plastics and a bioplastic. But right now I'm saying we need the option and we needed it 10 years ago. So if you're serious about recycling and making this place a better planet, the research needs to be done. With that, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Silverlight Show. If you did, please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to click the notification icon, the little bell down below, and we hope you have a fantastic day.